Welcome to our channel, and thank you for joining me. The big banks are growing concerned about rising inflation and a weakening economy. Today, I want to share an interview with Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, conducted by the Wall Street Journal. In this interview, Dimon addresses several key points. Are U.S. consumers in good shape? Will there be a soft landing for the U.S. economy? Will interest rates go up or down from here? Is Bidenomics working? Is Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, doing a good job? I believe this interview is crucial, so let's dive into what Dimon has to say. I'd love to hear your thoughts afterward. The first video clip I'll show you is 65 seconds long, where Dimon claims that U.S. consumers are in pretty good shape. Whether you agree or disagree with that statement, what he says next is very important and shouldn't be missed. He explains that U.S. consumers are in good shape because the economy is performing well. But this economic strength is largely due to significant government spending. However, this government spending is financed by borrowing, which is pushing the country deeper into debt. Dimon warns that this debt-fueled spending will make it harder to control inflation, raising concerns about the possibility of not achieving a soft landing for the economy. Please take a look at the interview and let me know your thoughts.
Right now, I want to focus specifically on the economy.
Right.
As the chief exec of America's biggest bank, you have an unrivaled insight into the financial health of the US consumer. What are people doing with their money right now?
So you have to look at a little bit in context. The consumer's in pretty good shape right now. Unemployment's under 4%, it's been there for 2 years. Housing prices are up, stock prices are up, jobs are plentiful, wages are finally going up at the low end. The consumer's in pretty good shape. The one thing you got to be cautious about, a lot of it is driven by just fiscal spending. Mm-hmm. So even today, the deficit is 6% of GDP, almost $2 trillion. That's driving a lot of this growth, and that will have other consequences possibly down the road, called inflation, which may not go away like people expect. So when I look at the range of possible outcomes, you can have that soft landing. I'm a little more worried that it may not be so soft, and inflation may not quite go away people expect. I'm not talking about just this year, I'm talking about 25 and 26. The rates may have to go up a little higher. I'm talking about the 10-year rate, the 5-year rate, and that can have consequences. So we'll see.
All right, so listen, I don't know if you caught it at the very end of that clip, but Dimon mentioned that interest rates may need to rise further. He was specifically referring to the 5-year and 10-year Treasury rates. The thing is, many financial products are pegged to the 10-year rate. If it increases, mortgage rates, auto loan rates, and credit card interest rates will likely go up as well. So be aware of that possibility. Now, let me show you another video clip. You heard Dimon. He said unemployment is low, housing prices are up, the stock market is up, wages are up, and consumers are in pretty good shape. He painted a very rosy picture. But then the interviewer asked, if that's the case, why aren't Americans feeling so optimistic? What's the disconnect? I have to give it to Dimon. He was honest. He explained that it depends on which group you're in. He acknowledged that some parts of society are struggling. There's a segment with low income that's finding it hard to get a home, while another group is doing better than ever. Essentially, he's saying that over the past few years, the rich have gotten richer, and the not-so-rich have become poorer. He talks about groups of people, but we know he's referring to the haves and the have-nots. For the haves, life is great, but for the have-nots, life is a struggle. He's essentially saying we have to deal with this reality. I don't know how you interpret it, but watch the clip and let me know if you see it differently.
But right now, you describe a pretty rosy picture, and yet we know consumers aren't feeling it. Why this disconnect?
Yeah. Well, you have to look at different consumers here. So the bottom 20% of America have not done particularly well over the last 20 years. Incomes barely went up. Remember, suicide, fentanyl, crime, inflation. There are a lot of negative effects. Some people can't get mortgages, can't buy the home. So yeah, there's part of society who's kind of struggling. There's part of society who's not. And I think that's a different issue about how we deal with the policy, but you can see why that has people upset.
Now, I want to show you a short but very important video clip. It's only about 23 seconds long. In it, Dimon states that while the market believes the odds of a soft landing are around 70%, he personally thinks it's closer to 35%. In other words, he sees only a 35% chance of a soft landing. Dimon also warns that even if things seem calm right now, the US economy can change rapidly and deteriorate quickly. Please take a look.
The odds of a soft landing, the market kind of prices in 70%. I think it's half of that. As a business person, I try to be prepared for all of that. Just a little cautious. It looks a little bit more like the 70s to me. And I point out to a lot of people, things look pretty rosy in 1972. They were not rosy in 1973. So don't get lulled into a false sense of security because the today looks okay, that tomorrow's going to be okay. So just trying to separate the two.
Okay, I want to show you this video clip where Dimon addresses the question, is Bidenomics working? His answer is that it's working partially. As you know, the US government is spending a significant amount of money to support the economy. Dimon explains that with such substantial spending, some economic growth is inevitable. Please take a look.
Sticking with today then, is Bidenomics working?
Partially. When you spend that kind of money, you're going to have growth, and we needed some of it, like some of the industrial policy. I think the infrastructure thing is terrific. That was bipartisan. Other things will remain to be seen. So I think some of the American public looks at it like, what are they getting?
Now, I want to show you this last video clip where Dimon addresses the question, is Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, doing a good job? Before you hear his answer, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Dimon acknowledges that the Federal Reserve made a mistake by raising interest rates too late. He also points out that we don't yet know the full consequences of all the money printing and the rapid tightening. While Dimon seems to go easy on Powell, he clearly indicates that the Federal Reserve has made mistakes and suggests there could be more issues ahead. Please take a look.
Do you think Jerome Powell's doing a good job as chairman of the Fed?
I have tremendous respect for Jay. I think the Fed was probably late in raising rates. They caught up. They're probably right and watching right now. We don't know what's going to happen. You might as well wait. We also don't know the full effect of QE. I'm a little more on the cautious side of that. Most people have a general feeling that you can reduce the balance sheet by several $1 trillion and its effect will not be felt. I'm not so sure. We've never had it before.
Alright, so after you witnessing all that, please let me know in the comments down below what you think about this whole situation. Because honestly speaking to me, this whole thing, it just seems like a money printing experiment that's just gone very wrong. Okay, the reason why I'm saying that is because it's disproportionately helped. The wealthy, the richest got richer, and it's disproportionately hurt every day. Americans, I look forward to reading your comments. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I wish you a very nice day. Take care, and thank you for watching.